Just imagine for a moment, Jupiter, the giant of our solar system, the swirling monster cloaked in bands of gas and storms larger than Earth itself, suddenly revealing a secret so dazzling, so utterly otherworldly, that even NASA's most hardened scientists could not believe their own eyes. Because when the Juno spacecraft, orbiting the gas giant, turned its specialized instruments and high-resolution cameras toward the planet's turbulent atmosphere, what it captured was unlike anything ever recorded in human history. A storm of lightning, yes, but not the familiar white or yellow flashes we know from Earth's thunderstorms, rather an enormous eruption of blue lightning stretching for thousands of miles across the night side of Jupiter, illuminating the massive cloud decks like cosmic fireworks. And scientists were left stunned, because lightning in itself is not new. Both Earth and Jupiter are known to host gigantic electrical storms, but never before had such an intense and vivid blue glow been observed, almost as though the planet were trying to send a message in light, a signal carved in electric veins across its endless clouds. And as this data streamed back to Earth through NASA's Deep Space Network, researchers in Pasadena at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory gathered around the monitors in silence, the control room bathed in a strange mix of awe and disbelief. Because what they were seeing suggested not only a natural phenomenon, but perhaps something far stranger. Something that could change our understanding of how storms and even atmospheric chemistry worked across the solar system. For unlike Earth, where lightning is generated from water clouds and ice particles colliding in turbulent air, Jupiter's upper atmosphere is dominated by hydrogen, helium, and layers of exotic compounds, and to produce blue lightning of such intensity hinted at reactions far more violent, involving ammonia, water, and possibly elements not yet known, creating discharges so hot that they burned at temperatures higher than anything recorded in Earth's storms. And in that glow, deep mysteries seemed to reside, for as Juno passed above the stormy region, its ultraviolet and infrared sensors captured something else. Patterns within the lightning that did not appear random, but instead formed fractal-like networks, branching out in symmetrical forms, almost like a geometric design drawn by an unseen hand. And whispers began to rise among the scientific team. Was this truly a storm, or something orchestrated by forces we could not yet comprehend? Because when nature behaves in ways that align with mathematical perfection, it often raises more questions than it answers. And some researchers suggested that perhaps this was evidence of plasma physics playing out on a scale never before witnessed, but others, quietly, hesitantly, asked whether such precision could be the fingerprint of something artificial, something beyond natural chaos. Those such thoughts were quickly dismissed publicly, yet never entirely abandoned in private conversations, and the longer they observed, the stranger it became, because the blue lightning did not flicker chaotically as earthly storms do. Instead it pulsed, with a rhythm, a strange beat that seemed almost timed, as if the very storm itself were alive, breathing, or worse, speaking. And as data analysis continued, a chilling realization began to form. The frequency of the lightning pulses matched certain mathematical ratios found in planetary orbital mechanics, specifically resonances connected to the moons of Jupiter, like Io, Europa, and Ganymede, as if the storm itself were synchronized with the movements of Jupiter's moons, a planetary symphony written in blue fire. And this synchronization was so precise that it could not easily be dismissed as coincidence, leaving the team of scientists both thrilled and deeply unsettled. Because if the storm was truly resonating with the moons, it might mean that Jupiter's electromagnetic environment was acting like a massive transmitter, linking storms, magnetic fields, and orbital cycles into one interconnected system, a system far larger than anything we could fully grasp. But even stranger, the data revealed that within the storm, certain flashes carried bursts of radio emissions, signals that bore patterns, and while officially these were classified as natural radio bursts, off the record some analysts admitted that they resembled modulated frequencies, structured in ways eerily similar to communication. And this idea, though unproven, was enough to stir fear and excitement alike. For what if Jupiter itself, or something within its vast storms, was trying to communicate, not with words, but with patterns of light and radio, a cosmic Morse code flashing across the gas giant's night side, and so late into the night. In dimly lit offices filled with screens and charts, a quiet urgency grew, because if this was real, if the blue lightning storm was more than a meteorological oddity, then humanity had stumbled upon something immense, something that could shift our understanding not only of Jupiter, but of our place in the universe. And as word spread among select scientific circles, theories multiplied. Some claimed this could be evidence of unknown chemical processes deep within Jupiter's mysterious layers. Others suggested the storm was interacting with Jupiter's immense magnetic field to produce the unnatural glow, but a smaller, more radical group of thinkers whispered that perhaps the storm was a manifestation of energy not entirely natural, perhaps linked to intelligent design, as if somewhere, somehow, something was manipulating Jupiter's atmosphere to produce a beacon, a signal meant to be seen. And though NASA remained cautious, releasing only a fraction of the data to the public with carefully worded explanations, the unedited files told a more unsettling story, one where the blue lightning continued to spread, not fading, but intensifying, growing more organized, and lasting far longer than any storm had a right to last, stretching across latitudes and consuming regions of the planet's atmosphere with terrifying beauty, while Juno, orbiting on its narrow path, kept transmitting images of a world bathed in electric fire, a storm that might not simply be weather, but something far stranger. Perhaps even a message from the planet itself, or from something hidden within it. And as researchers debated, argued, and lost sleep over the phenomenon, one thing became undeniable. Whatever was happening on Jupiter was not just a storm, it was a revelation, a puzzle wrapped in blue light, a cosmic secret waiting to be unraveled. And as the Juno spacecraft prepared for its next close flyby, the team knew that the answers they might receive could be more unsettling than the questions. Because the storm was not just continuing, it was evolving, and with every passing hour the possibility grew that humanity was witnessing not just the raw power of nature, but perhaps the first sign that we are not alone in the universe, though whether that sign was a warning, a greeting, or something far beyond our comprehension remained a question hanging in the silence of space, glowing blue against the vastness of Jupiter's endless skies. And it is here that the story deepens further. For the storm was about to reveal something even stranger, something that would challenge not just science, but the very definition of life and intelligence as we know it. And just when scientists thought they had mapped the rhythm of this strange celestial storm, the instruments aboard NASA's Juno spacecraft began transmitting even more astonishing data, revealing that the lightning was not only blue but carried with it a magnetic signature unlike anything recorded before. As if the very planet was trying to speak through bursts of energy, pulses so powerful they interfered with nearby electronics, creating patterns in the data that eerily resembled coded sequences, sparking debates among physicists and astronomers worldwide about whether this was purely a natural atmospheric event or something far more complex, because the bolts stretched for hundreds of miles, illuminating Jupiter's massive swirling clouds and ghostly flashes that made the gas giant appear alive, breathing, and aware. And as the storm intensified, cameras captured enormous arcs of energy lashing out like tendrils, intertwining and weaving into shapes that defied chance, forming spirals and lattice-like webs that vanished as quickly as they appeared, leaving behind only faint trails detectable by sensitive instruments, which themselves began to show anomalies, clocks running slightly faster, particles behaving as if their mass shifted momentarily. And it was this bizarre interaction of electricity, magnetism, and space-time that led some in the scientific community to whisper theories that went far beyond conventional science, hinting that these storms might be tapping into energies not bound by our current understanding of physics, perhaps even dimensions beyond our perception, while others, more grounded but equally awestruck, suggested that the sheer scale of Jupiter's atmosphere could create phenomena impossible to replicate or even imagine on Earth. Yet still, the mystery deepened when audio data converted from electromagnetic signals revealed an eerie chorus of tones, almost musical, as if the planet itself was singing during the storm, a haunting cosmic melody that silenced rooms full of scientists, each person struck by the strange feeling that they were not just observing weather but listening to something ancient, something conscious. And though NASA publicly framed the discovery as extraordinary but natural, behind closed doors discussions turned darker, with classified briefings raising questions about the storm's link to unexplained gravitational ripples detected in the region, faint waves that hinted at something massive moving unseen near Jupiter, something cloaked in the chaos of the storm. And whether by design or coincidence, The timing aligned too perfectly, forcing NASA and its partners to confront the terrifying possibility that Jupiter's blue light